This is the wrong podcast. Doing the UFC, or is this
fun?
Well, you're back on national lottery again, right, you guys?
Before we move on to the UFC, talking about odds of winning the lottery, I saw this video. It was this guy who won. He won like a car or something like that, like a 21 grand car on a scratch card. And local news decided to do a story on him, but they wanted him to recreate the scratching of the ticket. And so he bought another ticket, and he won 250 grand off the second ticket, which was so much more than the car. So he's obviously on live news just doing the action. He's like, I've just won 250 grand. I've just won 250 grand.
And they're like, no, that's not what you won, you dummy. You're doing the recreation wrong.
On your note, though, Mr. Beast did a video where he bought $1 million worth of scratch card tickets to see if he'd ended up being up. And I think he made back something like, out of the million spent, he made, I think it was like 800,000 in winnings or 850,000 in winnings. So the point is it shows even if you buy an exorbitant amount of tickets, they're designed statistically that you will always end up on the losing side, which is how they
and the odds are way, way, way worse on lotteries. But if it's 1 in a billion, that one doesn't have to be the billion. It could be in the first 10. It could be in the first 100. So yeah, I don't play the lottery. If I ever had that much money all at once, I would be dead within a year. There's no two ways about it.
Here's a question for you. If the lottery numbers are completely and utterly random, why is it that I have never seen a lottery number end up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Because that should statistically at 1 week happen, and I have never seen it happen.
I don't think all the lotteries do where any ball could be between the thing and the thing. Sometimes they have like different pools and stuff as well to look like they can help increase your odds. But yeah, no, I know, like probably somewhere there have been like lotteries where there have been like sequential numbers and stuff, but
and there
because the odds are so rare of that happening, it really does have to happen like more times than I think would ever happen in our lifetime. That's how bad your odds are.
I don't think I'd be dead in a year if I won the lottery. My worry is that I have this like belief that everybody has like a finite amount of luck, and you can like use that luck on a variety of different things, but your luck will eventually run out. So I would be terrified about like a huge proportion of my luck bar being drained on something like the lottery.
In this source of anxiety, is the inverse also true that there's a finite amount of bad luck? Because if that is your belief, then I can offer you a lot of reassurance today. There is no such thing as a finite amount of bad luck. Today has been a very long day. I just keep getting shit on all over the place. You know, there's a lot of very unlucky people as well. There's I can't remember the list. There's some dude that was like or a man or a woman that was in like a string of 3 separate like catastrophic disasters. I don't know if they survived all 3, but it was like they were on like the Titanic. They were in like a big fire or something. Like, I don't know, maybe they were in like the fucking Hindenburg blimp or some stupid shit like that. I can't remember what the list is, but there's like someone was there for 3 of like the most like catastrophic, like unlucky things a person can be there for in one lifetime.
Is that like, bad luck or good luck? Because that means that they survived at least 2 of them.
No, trauma is a fucking thing. Survivor's guilt is a fucking thing. Like, no, that is not good luck. That is bad luck. Bad luck to the extent that your own mum is going to start looking at you like some kind of fucking jinx. Like, she won't get in the car with you. She won't hug you. She won't get on the phone with you. Just, you're bad luck. Everybody knows it. Stop trying to kill me. I don't love you anymore. It's bad luck for sure.
Well, that's the cold open. On that note, I was trying to find a way to segue that across, but I can't. So we're just going to say, hey, welcome back to the MMA Split Pick Show. You know who we are. You're probably the same people who have watched beforehand. But we would like some more people to know about us, particularly since we've got our brand new fancy logos, which I think we can all agree are very good. I tried some different music that was not quite given the same reception.
We're going to change the music soon, and it's still going to fucking not be great. But we will work towards getting someone that we know that likes us enough to just, Tom, Laurie, just fucking do something for us, yeah? Like,
That would be
why
so
not?
useful, mate. If you could,
Why
that'd be
not?
so useful. I
Quit
take it,
judging
Josh,
what we did. Well, yeah, you haven't heard what I've done yet, but obviously I'm on freeze while I have no MacBook power supply on the phone again today. And if you thought you hated this cold open, look at Sly's face.
Hi guys, welcome to the
Hello.
show.
First
Sorry,
things first,
Sly.
Sly. Since you want to talk about things more UFC related, what did you think of the new opening for the podcast?
I think it's fantastic. It's probably the best one out there, and I'm expecting to get a lot of jealousy coming our way, but also a lot of love.
What was your favorite part of it?
The whole thing is fucking genius. I don't know why. I don't know why you have to pick favorite parts. I don't know why we have to do all this like favoritism. Have you got it? Have you got it on this one? Are you gonna have it on this one? Have you had it one
It was
before?
on the
'Cause I
last
didn't
one.
watch-
It was
Oh,
on the
yeah,
last
so-
one.
Oh,
You haven't seen
okay.
it.
You
No, I
haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it, but guys, you're spoiling it. I'm telling you how amazing it is and how good it is.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I've seen it or not because I've seen a lot of fucking material coming my way on my fucking WhatsApp.
I think
chats.
as soon as you started saying that you couldn't pick a favorite part out of what is a
Yeah.
great new opening, but it's a very short opening with really only two
Approximately
elements,
4 seconds.
both of which we have already discussed. The
Oh.
logo, there's the image behind the logo, very
Right,
nice grab,
okay,
Matt,
yeah,
and
okay,
there's
okay.
the music. So there's the visual and the audio for about 4 seconds. And anyone that watched the last episode, which is basically everyone that's watching this episode, knows that you're pulling this out of your ass. Matt didn't give you away.
Matt's no help, man. Matt's like
You sounded like the
police.
kid giving his book report at the start of the semester, and you haven't read the book.
Is
And
it
you're
the one
just
of all
like,
the? Is it the one of all the colors?
It actually has much fewer colors than previous ones.
Okay, then it's not the one I'm thinking of. No, okay, sorry. No, that's why I'm confused. 'Cause you said a new one. I've seen the one where it was like. I'm sure
If
that's the
only
last
I'd-
one we did.
The new one.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so confused.
if
now. I'm
only
gonna have to
I'd
actually go on
messaged-
YouTube and check this out.
If
I've
only
seen
I'd
the one-
Happy St.
messaged,
Patrick's Day.
if only I'd messaged our group chat something along the lines of, "Hey guys, check out the new intro for the new episode that just released. Please give me your thoughts on it."
I had my phone on charge. I saw that a day late. And then I got back to him later that day.
So you've
It's
made a new
appreciated.
one
That
since.
was
Yeah, with like our new official logo and opening title
So
card.
not the boom smash wham.
No. Moving
Oh, right,
away
no, I
from
haven't
a.
seen it. Then. No, I actually have not seen it. Sorry, then. So actually,
no, we
I thought
know.
We're aware of this, Sly. We're aware
The
of
fact
this.
that-
You didn't respond in the group chat.
And you said you didn't watch last week's episode, which is the only time we've had it. This is why Matt asked you to check it out. Which is fine. Because now
wait.
you're
Now,
definitely going to
now
check
I'm
it
really
out.
confused.
It's
Because
cool.
now I'm so confused. Now I'm checking it out, and it's not the one I think. Now it's just like a broken leg one.
Yes.
Wait, I'm confused.
That's
so it's just a
our logo.
little jingle
Yeah, the
with the new
logo you helped
logo.
us pick. Yeah.
and the broken leg.
Yeah.
I quite like the boom smash wham, but I like this as well.
Hey,
The only thing I will say,
we can workshop this as a team, but I do think that it is
First
a
draft.
great effort by Matt. It's amazing. And it's so cool to have our own logo now. We're actually in rebranding mode.
now
We're pushing forward, we're getting creative.
can I say
even
a quick thing? Can I say,
Instagrammed
yeah?
about our latest episode.
Yeah, no,
coming out.
I did see that. I did get your Instagram message. I'm just the only thing I'd say, I'm just gonna be super like, it's a picky, but fuck it. The logo, once blown up to the size that it is on the intro video, has lost a lot of pixels.
All right, we'll ask Pablo.
Just check if we can have it in high quality or something, so that when we blow it up, because yeah, it's a bit pixelated. And I'd like it to be maybe. I think it'd be nice if it was higher quality.
This
So if
was a
you-
concern of mine.
Yeah.
However, there are a few things that affect it. So, I was worried about it being blown up. The tricky thing is that when I do a playback when I'm editing, it's not as good a quality as when the video's done. So I saw that, but I thought that was due to the playback quality rather than the final editing quality.
Well,
I did
He
experiment.
said he'd
and
resize it.
So
it can be resized.
Yeah, we're good. We'll get that
Okay.
sorted.
Okay.
Good.
And to be honest, It can be a smaller size as well. I was just worried that it didn't stand out, but we can also work with that. I can use the original size and just move it around. So, good criticism, good feedback, good feedback. Obviously, the song I just picked, a jazzy little
I quite
jingle.
like the jingle. It's not as good as the one I used to sing before. I think my personal jingle was very strong.
Bellator breakdown.
Bellator breakdown. Oh man, we need to bring back Bellator breakdown.
No, don't act like you ever did it well. You both kind of didn't do it great every time.
Yeah, it kind of changed every time.
Fair representation. Oh, and this time. Yeah, no, I'm well aware. Yeah,
we're not a musical show. This isn't what we do.
No.
I love music. I'm not musically talented.
That's not my criticism.
We're just a betting advisement board.
I don't think we've ever really recommended anything that's ever paid off. If you follow most of our picks, you're going to do quite well. Don't try and put them all together in an aki like I always do.
We put no odds on the screen. We discuss no odds. We discuss no parlay bets. We can't say that. Maybe we should. Maybe that should be a consideration. But we are rebranding. We don't want to take on too many things.
We'd have to get a lot fucking better at gambling before we could bring in anyone with that noise.
Really, let's just try and focus on getting this pick show competition added first before we start adding all the other stuff up the wazoo. Josh, you are officially 1-0 up, as we know from last week. For the
no, very unofficially. We're going off of my memory. I haven't rewatched the episode at all, and my picks are written down on my dead MacBook right now. So unofficially, I am 1-0 up. But
it's reasonably official. I went back and I checked, and your picks matched.
Oh, all right, fair enough. And we're just going to go 1 point a week, yeah?
Correct. Yeah. So you are currently with a 1-0 lead in this 12-week series, which is very exciting for you.
I now like this 1 point a week thing because I've made a lot of very emotional decisions on this week's picks. And I feel like ultimately that could fuck me in the long run. But if it's only 1 week, I might mess up. Yeah, I don't know.
I've made at least 3 very emotional decisions on this, very patriotic decisions. So I might be in the same boat, guys. This is UFC London. We can watch this at a normal fucking time on a Saturday night. In fact, I am trying to convince the pool and beer bar I go to every weekend to put it on in the bar.
I think Hugo's got it. I think Hugo's going to do it. I think he's going to organise it.
Hugo's on it. My mate Joey's going to come as well. Josh, you are of course invited, as is Kate. I completely understand though that Otis does make that little tricky.
Can't come. Yeah, he's ruined our lives.
But the invitation is of course there if you find a babysitter or whatever. I'm really excited. I've never watched a UFC fight in a bar before, so this is going to be super fun for me. We're in London. It's the first event they've done abroad from the United States in 3 years. There's no other foreign cards that are slated at the moment, so I think we should appreciate this. And of course, we have got all of the British favourites, basically apart from Darren Till, who is very sensibly taking a I don't fight until I'm 100% approach to his career now, and I think that is the right approach to take.
Will he never fight again then?
Yeah.
I don't think you start training with Hamzat Chimaev because you want to saddle off into the sunset. That is, I am going to pick the scariest trainer I've ever heard of. Like, just the worst training partner for anyone to go 99% or less.
Yeah, but I think he's just going to get injured all the time now.
Fuck knows, but when he is ready, he's going to be fucking Chimaev ready. So I think it's a great fucking move for him.
And he's going somewhere that's going to work on all of the weaknesses in his game, which is exactly what he needs. As a result, we have not got him on this card, but we have got a fantastic headliner. We've got Tom Aspinall, top fighter, top bloke, everything you want in a modern day heavyweight, first main event, difficult opponent. Worth saying, we are not 100% confirmed. We're recording this on the Thursday.
Do you know who the backup is?
I do know who the backup is. As far as we know, he's fighting Volkov. Volkov is in London. It is not an issue of travel. The only issue that they can ascertain is whether the British MMA Board of Control sanction the fight. I don't want to get into politics. There's a whole political situation. Tennis players are dealing with this at the moment. There's a lot of push for no Russian-born tennis player to be allowed to compete unless they basically denounce their Russian nationality. I personally think that's ridiculous, but this isn't in our control. As a backup, Marcin Tybura is in London, and he will be weighing in, and he will be ready if needs be.
I love that they think to add, and he'll be weighing in. Like,
well, I added that. They obviously
no, I know, but like that's the right thing to do, right? It's the right thing to say. This guy's coming in on short notice replacement. What does he usually rock in at? About 250, right? I think it's like high 240s, something like that.
He doesn't cut. He doesn't cut together.
No. Only a handful of guys cut. And only one person ever in the history of the UFC heavyweight division has ever missed weight.
That was recently as well.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And I fucking love the fighter that missed as well.
Yeah. And it's not a guy that you'd think would have to cut necessarily. Like,
No. The point of this is Tybura's in town. He basically lost a close fight to Volkov in their last fight anyway, so I think it's a good guy to have as the replacement. For Tom, well, first thing I think, really different type of opponent. Like I actually think that's a tough one for Tom. If you get a last minute, hey, you're no longer fighting a 6'8" long striker. You're now going to be fighting a short, stocky wrestler. That's a completely different game.
So who is the
big
replacement?
step down though.
Marcin Tybura.
Wait, but how is he the replacement?
Well, no. They don't know if they're going to enforce sanctions saying that Russian athletes can't compete in different sports. And
Tybura right now is in England.
Yes.
How come?
As is Volkov, as is Tom Aspinall.
And on weight, you'll be happy to know.
The reason is because when the Russia situation broke out, they obviously had to have a backup plan in case Volkov wasn't going to be able to fight, either due to not being allowed to fly.
Does that mean that... Sorry, I had to interrupt, just because I'm having a really hard time understanding how this works in a more... maybe it's a bit more like difficult, but does Tybura then get paid even if he doesn't fight?
Yes, he gets his show money.
Wow, that's pretty good. Is that good show money?
Probably quite all right. He's been in the top 15. I think he renewed his contract in the top 15. It's not going to be like ridiculous money, but considering he doesn't have to cut weight, he just has to go in and be on standby for a main event fight against a top fighter. It's if I'm Tybura, having not specifically been training for either of these guys, best case scenario, I just get a front row seat to a great event and a shit ton of money, or a reasonable amount of money.
Oh yeah, you definitely don't want to fight if you're not ready for it.
And you're not sharing that with your coaches or anything, just your agent, your manager, whoever. Wow,
sweet gig.
Also, heavyweights tend to get paid more than other weight classes, even
is that because they need more food?
It's just like typically bigger draws.
Bigger draws.
This is why Premier League players get paid more than League One players.
There's a reason why. There's a reason why when you're watching like fight nights, you'll see a really stacked card sometimes, and then quite low.
Chase Sherman will be on the main card
as like a co-main event or something. It's because it brings in casual people. Hey, we got these big guys. There's a 52% chance of heavyweight fights ending in a knockout. It's good odds for easy attention. Let's try and focus on talking about Aspinall versus Volkov, and then obviously just to touch as well, so many British stars. We've got Arnold Allen, we've got Paddy the Baddy, we've got Molly McCann, we got certainly not English, but the Scottish favorite. Davy Grant is English. Paul Craig, Scottish, but still going to be repping the Brits down in London. And Jack Shaw as well, I believe.
Yep, Jack Shaw's fighting Timo Valiev.
So we've got a whole variety of fantastic, young, different levels of their career, different rankings, English fighters, and we are hoping that they all do well, of course. Kicking that off, Aspinall has been nothing short of spectacular since he's come into the UFC. He fully deserves this main event spot. He radiates nothing but just decency, and you want to root for this guy. And on top of that, he's fast, athletic, he can strike, he can submit people, he's got a decent wrestling background from what we've seen so far. But Volkov's a different story. This guy's been there with the best. He's done it. He stayed in that top of the division for a long time. And when you're that tall and that long, and you know how to fight long, you're always going to be a problem. Josh, straight off the bat, what do you think? How are you feeling about the fight, first and foremost?
As much as I love and respect Arlovsky, truth is this is a huge fucking step up from anything Aspinall's really done. This is, outside of Gunn, the most technical striker in the division. Since he put on the weight, he's still not like the liveliest of athletes, but he's got real punching power now. And that being said, I'm still pulling for Aspinall as an Englishman, as a Brit. I think Aspinall is going to win the fight, but man, it's a real baptism of fire. If you want to talk about being a top 5 heavyweight, there are no good options, but certainly Volkov, not the worst one, but Jesus Christ, I guess it's just pick your poison at this point. If you're Tom, you got to be fighting beasts now. Dorcas picked the wrong guy to try and scalp in Derek Lewis. Aspinall, this isn't shrewd matchmaking on his camp's part, but I suppose feasibly a winnable fight. I just feel with his movement, his first step, his athleticism, I think he can get inside Volkov. If he can time some counters, I think he's got a real good shot at rocking the big man. And if you can get Volkov down, he's got some ground and pound, he's got submission games. I don't like it for Tom. That's what I'm really trying to say. It's very, very protracted. Move on to Sly. I get too emotional thinking about these things.
What do the numbers tell you?
Well, the numbers tell me Aspinall was going to fucking destroy him. That's just numbers. I've seen Volkov.
It's a big step up.
Yeah, Volkov is probably one of the best fighters in the UFC. It's such a difficult one. So difficult. I really don't know. I think every bit of common sense tells me Volkov. But I just cannot look past Tom Aspinall's awesome chest tattoo. I'm gonna go Tom Aspinall by knockout the whole way, just because I want to see him get more money, keep evolving on the tattoos he's got. I think they look pretty good. Whereas Volkov, I don't know. So it's 5 rounds as well. Has Aspinall ever gone 5 rounds?
Don't think he's ever had a decision.
His average fight time is 2 minutes and a half.
I think he's been booked for 5 rounds.
Volkov's average time is 15 minutes.
You touched on a very good point there, Sly, which is, and I think this is going to be the biggest challenge for Aspinall. He's obviously, Volkov's only going to try and beat you one way. You're not going to have the threat of takedowns and all of that, but he's a very patient, a little bit fairly inactive striker. And what that kind of means for Aspinall is that he's not going to have a lot of mistakes to capitalize on. He's going to be forced to have to set the tone and set the pace. And Volkov's not going to give him a lot to kind of slip and counter and work around. If you look at the Arlovsky fight, one of the things that was difficult for Tom Aspinall is that when he tried to make a move forward, Arlovsky was very patient and would counter him and not really give him too much to read on and time him well. And in reality, Aspinall struggled with that, and that's why he ended up taking the fight to the ground, and then he got the submission. Volkov's a hard guy to take to the ground unless your name is Curtis Blades.
Well, talking of stats, so I'm really sorry to interrupt. That's so rude.
No, go ahead, please do.
Just because I might forget. Aspinall has takedown accuracy is 100%. His takedown defense is 100%. I know he's not been fighting for very long fights, but it's something that I put in there as like a little bracket in the middle of your monologue, Matt. Sorry.
He's an opportunistic grappler. He's not somebody that's looking to chain wrestle and spam takedowns. He just understands when the moments present themselves, and he strikes enough that he can then use that to set the takedowns up well. So, And listen, everyone he's fought so far, he gets an A+ grade. He's shown a variety of different things. It's just that it's not just that you're dealing with a technical striker. You're dealing with an incredibly experienced athletic freak in terms of his build and his height and his reach. There's not a lot of ways that you can prepare for that. I mean, I know you used to spar with Tyson Fury, and I can only imagine that that experience will be invaluable for a situation like this. But Volkov will mix things up. He'll kick your legs. He'll teep to the body. And he'll take a very slow pace in the fight. He does not mind standing and staring at you with nothing happening for a couple of minutes. Tom's going to have to deal with that. He's going to have to apply volume, but at the same time, he can't be reckless. And I think that's going to be a really big challenge. If he fights Volkov, honestly, I think he loses. And my pick is Volkov. If he ends up having to fight Marcin Tybura, I think he beats him. But I'll reiterate my point from earlier. I think it's really tough. I know that backups, you get the guy that's ranked in the same way and is available and all the rest. But it's a completely different stylistic matchup. It's a completely different threat, completely different tactic. Really, you would want a completely different camp. So he's in a tough position, Tom, and he's doing the thing that you do when you're making your way up and you got your first main event, which is saying, yep, no problem, don't care who it is, don't care what the situation is, I'll take a last-minute opponent. I think he stumbles here if he fights Volkov. I think it's a little bit of a step too far. Having said that, though, what's Volkov's mindset going to be coming in? He's been training for this fight.
He's undefeated in London, right?
I more meant, you've had 3 weeks as Volkov of not knowing if you're going to actually be able to fight. You've got all of that uncertainty. You've got whatever your own opinion is on the world's events as it is. And you are going to have a packed O2 arena that, whether or not this is your fault, are going to be vicious. And not just because you're fighting an English guy. You are going to get hate and abuse from that audience like you have never seen before.
I don't know. How many people are specifically anti-Russian? I know a lot of people are very anti-Putin, anti-Kremlin, anti-war, but I don't know that many people that are specifically anti-Russian, to be honest.
I would like to believe it's very, very few. The reaction I'm seeing in the news in terms of, it's not really being discussed with the UFC, but in terms of tennis players, there are a lot of people who are basically saying that Russian players should be banned out of principle.
Yeah, but isn't it kind of the idea of just enforcing as many sanctions as we can to pressure Russia rather than like a petty kind of revenge kind of thing? Like, we're not going to go to war, but we'll say, fuck you, Russia. Like,
completely agree with you. This is how I think it should be. I don't think any sports stars should be banned. I can understand Olympics and I can understand national football teams and stuff like that because there's an idea of you're representing your nation that obviously you have to work
it's
around.
A way to impose some kind of pressure through sanctions and to get it into because everyone knows that every time Russia do anything bad or any time Putin does anything bad, the first thing that the Russians know is that this thing happened and it was the other country's fault. It's a constant stream of propaganda. So they, will go to other levels to try and get these people to understand, no, like Putin did a bad thing. So now you don't get to watch the football. And it's fucking stupid. But yeah, sorry, go on.
I worry about it. I completely disagree with the idea of punishing people just because of the country that they're from when they have no political connection to decisions made. I just worry that, and I'm only just mentioning this in terms of like what your mindset's going to be. You've got an amped up crowd, excited to see some English fighters do well. I just think it opens up the possibility that he's going to have to deal with more abuse, not because people necessarily maybe believe that en masse, but because in the situation, it's just like using whatever you can against your opponent kind of thing.
Maybe, but also like you said, he's not just going to recklessly tear into Aspinall, but he is shrewd enough and enough of a vet to appreciate that when you're fighting a man in his backyard, he's going to want to come in on you. He's just going to have that little something of like, I really can't lose this fight. I think Volkov probably, you're right, it's going to be a factor, I imagine, everything that's going on in his home country. But for him, he must appreciate that Aspinall's got way more pressure on him in this one, and the crowd isn't going to work against him in the same way that it might ultimately work against Tom in a 5-round fight against the technician. That being said, though,
you make a good point.
It's I just don't see Aspinall just caking this one. I think he's just going to come out just absolutely zoned in like he always does and just put in a great fucking performance.
I'm still going to go Volkov by decision for my pick. Sly's going Aspinall by knockout.
Pick.
Yeah, I said Aspinall by knockout. I'm not going to change.
Yeah, knockout too.
Knockout for you as well. Hey, listen, we'll see what happens. I obviously want Aspinall to win. I'm just, now that we're tallying these picks, I've already got a couple of emotional ones on here. So I need to be a little bit more sensible. Moving on to our main event, equally as exciting. We've got Dan Hooker returning to the featherweight division, taking on the streaking Arnold Allen, who doesn't fight as often as I think he should for a young guy, but 8-fight win streak says everything you need to know. Obviously beat a very talented Sadiq Youssef in his last outing. I think this is honestly the hardest fight to call because there's so many questions I've got about what Hooker's going to look like at featherweight. I know he's been there before, but I also know that he probably bulked up when he went to lightweight, and he's going to be doing.
He has already made the cut previously.
He's made the cut,
the dry run,
the test cut. But there's a difference between making the cut and fighting after the cut.
Yeah,
that's a big question mark for me. Do I think he's a better fighter at this point than Arnold Allen? It's hard to say because Allen's not fought in a while and he's young and he's been improving in a good gym. But I would say based on last performances, yes. I thought Allen looked... He got past Youssef, but it wasn't a statement-making kind of performance.
Well, hang on, right. If Allen's a little taller, all things even at 155, who would you pick?
Dan Hooker.
Yeah. You could definitely say Dan is the better fighter. I think it's the big question mark is the weight class.
It's the weight class and confidence as well. You know, not that Dan should be short of confidence because his last loss was Makhachev. It happened at 3 weeks' notice. What the fuck can you do? You know, you look at the Hack Paras. The Hack Paras fight is the one that I think is the better description, a better comparison because. Do I think Hack Parast is in the same kind of ballpark level as where Arnold Allen is in a different weight class? Yeah. And I think the biggest issue for Allen is that I don't think he's maybe aggressive enough or is aggressive enough. I think he's a very safe technical fighter. And Dan Hooker's going to take that option away from him if he's not compromised. I
think that is the key, right? Obviously, Dan's going to be a slightly different fighter at 45. But for me, it's can Allen tough it out? Because he is a very technical fighter. He comes in with a very good game plan, demonstrates good fight IQ, like making adjustments mid-round, listens to his coaches, has good coaches. Can he tough it out? Can he eat what Dan Hooker throws his way at 45? Because if he can, he is a bad style matchup for Dan Hooker. And I just think that Arnold Allen, you know, I think with the added, again, it's more pressure having that home crowd. But if they can fire him up to the point that he can tough it out, and if he can really get like real deep down Rudy with it, like all the heart in the world, I think he can win. But I've gone very emotional with this one. But that is the key for me. Like what you say, it's you know, technically a very smart fighter, but a safe fighter. How is he in the deep waters against world-class talent?
Sly, your thoughts?
So difficult. I see Arnold Allen winning this. I just don't see how. I don't see him knocking him out. I know we see him submitting him. And by decision, I just think Dan Hooker's got more volume. And because he's got more volume, he'll score more points. I want to go Arnold Allen. I just don't know how. I just don't know how he wins this. Someone tell me, how does he win this?
I'm going decision.
Arnold Allen by decision.
29-28.
but it's a bit of a pick in the dark, the method.
I'm going hooker decision, very, very cautiously.
Yeah, it's also non-patriotic.
Very cautiously. No, I haven't been very patriotic so far, have I?
Sorry,
I wonder if that's going to change.
Yes, sorry. You can change and start supporting Chelsea soon. What?
I fucking hate Chelsea. Even hating Chelsea, I do feel bad about their current situation. But I still fucking hate them. That is neither here nor there. What are you going to say?
So we got a Russian owner, but he's not an oligarch. That's the key, you know. Get a lot of them broke ass Russians, and then you'd be okay.
Well,
right.
Yeah. Moving on. Not the co-main event, but try telling that to the guy who is fighting in it. Paddy the Baddie is walking around like he's the one that's selling the tickets, bringing the crowd in. He may very well not be wrong on that because huge star in Cage Warriors, had a massive following. First fight back in England since he's left Cage Warriors to join the UFC. And really, I don't know a lot about Vargas. I imagine they've booked this with the assumption that this should be a win for Paddy. I'm expecting him to win. I think he will win. But I love the attitude I would say, though, from what we saw in his fight against Vendramini, a lot of skills need to be worked on before you're going to be backing up half the shit that you're saying. A lot of skills. Too hittable on the feet. It might have just been a bad night. I know he's working on these things, but for him to be at that level where he is co-main event every time, driving all the fans in, moving up the rankings, I don't think the skills are there yet. And I think the big difference between him
didn't
and
look too bad in that little scrum with Tapuria.
He didn't. No,
looked quite low on his feet. To be fair.
What did you guys make of that? Out of curiosity, have you seen it?
The what? Sorry.
The scuffle between Tapuria.
Yeah, but I didn't really. I saw like a video that's super badly filmed.
That is all the footage over there is. Basically,
that's all the
Paddy
footage?
Pimblett, made some comments about the Russia-Georgian war.
Yeah.
Which he did end up apologizing for, but Tapuria was very upset about it. And Tapuria walks through a room that he's in, with some of his team, and basically kind of like makes the guy to try and like kind of have Paddy kind of flinch or something. I guess I don't know. Paddy picks up a bottle of hand sanitizer and bounces off his head. Words are exchanged. And Tapuria is fighting at 55. I don't know if he's going to continue at 55. I think 45 might be the better move, but I kind of want to fucking see that fight if both these boys win this weekend.
You don't? Why not?
No, I do.
Yeah,
I kind of want to see that fight. Yeah.
It's a horrible fight for Paddy.
Well, Vargas isn't an easy one.
Horrible fight. No, he's not.
Vargas has some nice hands. He can scrap. He's got a good chin. If he wants to go in with the same attitude he had against Vendramini, it will not go very well. He will have to change up. But frankly, I don't know. Like, does anyone think that Paddy isn't going to just try and take this fight down early?
I don't know how he's going to approach it, to be honest. I know he wants to finish the fight early, but I don't know how he's going to approach it, to be honest. I think he's fallen in love with his hands. I think he will look to strike, but just maybe a little bit more technically and less stupidly and more defensively than he did against Vendramini.
Yeah, he's been bad for the last couple of fights, but ultimately, this guy's confidence and arrogance comes from his grappling game. And I just think if he's envisioning a first round finish, he's thinking either ground and pound or submission. Either the guy gives me his back and I choke him out, or he lets me stay in full mount and I'm just going to rain down on him with elbows. But I got to believe Paddy comes out looking for a single leg early, get him to the cage, try and join those hands behind his butt. I don't know. I just think he's going for that takedown in the first minute.
Interesting.
I really fucking hope I'm not wrong about that. It would be an absolute shambles if I'm wrong there. Not for me, for him.
Well, he is the first Englishman I'm picking on the show to win. I am going to pick by TKO because I think he is going to look to strike. I'm hoping he will do better. I think he will do better defensively than he did last time. But listen, he's got power, he's got speed, he can land, he can hurt guys. I think he gets the knockout, and I think the hype continues. It's not the Vargases I don't think he can beat. It's that I think the way he speaks is going to get him bigger fights than he's ready for, quicker than he's ready for.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I've been watching this guy for years, and I've seen him getting better and filling out. And I honestly think at his peak, he might crash the top 15, and that's about it. He's not a future champ. He's just a really, really fucking good fighter. Just an insanely good fighter. He's just not, he's not ever going to be like a Dan Hooker. He's never going to be like that world class I'm talking about. He's never going to be what Aspinall is threatening to be, what Volkov already is. He's always going to be just a little behind, a little below. But with his grappling game, he is just, you can never count him out.
What's your pick, Josh?
Pimblett by sub.
Sly, you last man up?
You win by sub.
Yeah, for sure. It might be a ground and pound, but I think it's probably going to be sub. Like he once said, when it comes to the ground, he is the fucking boy. So I'll give it to him.
I think it might be more ground and pound, so I go Paddy by KO.
Very nice.
Anyone not go Paddy?
No, I think we're Paddy's all round. 3 Paddies on Paddy's Day.
Nice, Paddy's Day. So it's Paddy's Day this weekend for him.
Absolutely.
So wait, this fight is so to try and arrange my weekend, but this is actually starting. The main card is starting at 9.
Yep, 8 p.m. UK time, 9 p.m. for us.
And it will last for
So like
the
midnight.
Sorry?
It'll be light till midnight.
Perfect. Sweet. Okay, that's it.
You can watch the UFC and you can go to Raz.
What
it is in your abilities and options. Now, moving down, we got the first fight that isn't involving an Englishman on the card. Obviously, we're doing from down up, so there probably will be some fights that don't have English people on it on the prelims. But first one we're talking about, Gunnar Nelson is back. This guy has been out for a hot minute, and he is making his return against the extremely dangerous Takashori Sato.
Takashi Sato, come on.
Takashi Sato, that's the one.
We'll just call him 10.
10.
10.
That's his ring name, yeah. Well, Sato, because I'm not going to call him 10.
I thought he was going to wait for 10 seconds before talking again. I was like, I know what he's doing. I'm in on this. And then 3 seconds in, he's like, oh, his ring name. And I'm like,
Sorry, man. I wasn't on your wavelength there. I wasn't on your wavelength.
No. That's fair enough. I was off my own fucking universe. Yeah. I just wanted to voice my internal disappointment. Not disappointment.
What are you smoking nowadays?
Just regular ass weed,
Love the ass weed, man. It's that bum stuff. Good.
Yeah. It doesn't get smuggled in from anywhere. I just like to warm it up first. Perfect. Stick it in the oven.
Gives a new meaning to can I bum a smoke off you?
Uncouth. Why you say bum? We're just talking about normal stuff. That was weird.
Well, what is not weird is seeing a striker versus grappler matchup, as I terribly segue back to this. Sato's got the knockout power. Gunnar Nelson has got wicked jiu-jitsu. His last fight, am I thinking this right? Was his last fight that lost to Leon Edwards?
Nah, Burns.
Gilbert Burns.
Yeah, it's been a long time since he fought. To be fair, he has got a pretty good boxing, and his karate game's not too bad. The karate stance kind of serves him well with the kind of entries for the takedowns. But if you're gonna say like one of them's a striker, it's like it's Sato. He's definitely got the edge there. Gunny though, he's the original fucking submission magician. I fucking love this kid, and I'm so happy he's back. So yeah, he lost to Burns. Fair enough. Number 2 guy in the division. Pre Kimaev, number 2 guy in the division. Split decision with Leon Edwards, right? I'm trying to do this shit off the top of my head. Beat Cowboy Oliveira before that. And then there was the one where he got the eye pipe from Ponzinibbio, and then ended up getting sparks out when Ponzinibbio made that nice comeback in terms of coming back from the injury before he got injured again. And then before that, I think it was the Damian Maia fight. It was just the wrong time to be fighting Damian Maia. Yeah, he's beat some good guys. Beat Brandon Thatch, beat Zach Cummins. Lost to Rick the Horror Story. Great fucking nickname. I love this kid though. He doesn't lose to anyone that isn't like legit really, really fucking good. And I just don't think Takashi Sato is quite there. I think the time off.
Nelson.
Oh, I'm all in on Nelson. I'm not even leaning a little bit. I think it's a foregone conclusion. Gunny by submission, easy money.
It's like
I don't know what the odds are. Bet the house. Bet everything you got. Bet shit you haven't got. It'll be fine. You'll just win more.
Wow. Takeshi Tako, I think, will win this by KO.
Okay. I am going to agree with Josh. I think Nelson's going to win the fight. I can be nervous about people being out for as long as he is. I feel that one of the reasons is that he realized there are elements of his game that he needed to improve. And I think if you look at how modern MMA is going, you can't be a specialist anymore. Jiu-jitsu is obviously important, but it more and more doesn't seem to be a martial art that you can rely on singularly to get you the same level of success as it used to get you in the UFC. I think Nelson's going to come back looking a lot better on the feet, still with the wrestling and jiu-jitsu threat, and I think he's going to win by sub.
Wow.
Right. Rest of the picks I'm going to need to bring up on my phone, but we've got Molly McCann taking on Luana Carolina. Molly is coming off the back of her win against Junyo Kim.
I
need to look this stuff up before we do it.
One of us must have a device in front of us.
But we all have a laptop, surely, no?
No, you bastard, I don't.
Oh,
Not
God.
right now.
Yep, Ji-Yoon Kim.
Yeah.
Coming off her win over Ji-Yoon Kim, she'd had a bit of a rough time, had a couple of bad losses before that, fighting very scary people. I don't know if I would put Luana Carolina in the scary people category. I think Molly is going to be fired up by the British crowd. I think she's going to come out with bad intentions, and I think she's going to do damage. And I think she's going to win by decision.
Okay.
Josh, your thoughts, your opinion on the fights and your pick.
I'm pretty sure we're going to go the same way on this one. So I was going to get Sly to give his pick first so I could do the tagline at the end.
I'm picking Molly McCain by decision.
Go on, Josh.
Have your moment.
We're other women, Molly McCann. I'm going Molly McCann. We're going Meatball by decision. We might as well carpool because we're going in the same direction. Oof. Give your love in the comments. Let me know how great that line was. I feel
in no way ruined by the fact that you in no way ruined by the fact that you had to precursor it.
No, I enjoyed it nonetheless.
And that takes us to the
Can you hear
fight.
that in the background, by the way?
Yes, I can.
It's deranged, isn't it? That's not normal.
Is it a dog?
That was the dog?
It is, but you're forgiven for thinking that was something else.
I thought it was a truck or something driving in your
thought it was a demon.
It sounds like I'm watching Gremlins 2 in the background.
Is your dog a gremlin?
I fucking wish.
Is your dog
Gremlins
possessed by the demon Kalego?
What's Kalego from? I don't know.
I just watched. Have you seen Archive 81 on Netflix?
Oh no. Kate's going through a patch of limiting how much scary stuff we watch. So it's on the list. Yeah, no, the trailer gave her that impression. Definitely made me want to watch it. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait a little bit. Maybe when it's summer and it's sunny until like fucking 10 in the evening, and it's nice and hot all the time, then we can watch it.
Could you explain to me why you guys are not watching as much horror as you wish? Or why you are, let's say, managing
I don't know,
how
maybe we
much
just
horror
watch
you
too
watch?
much scary shit. We watch like a lot of murder documentaries in a
Do you guys
row.
have a lot of nightmares?
I smoke weed, so I'm just out like a thing that doesn't dream. I can't think of an analogy because I don't dream enough to be that creative anymore.
It's half the reason I just smoke weed. No dreams.
Yep.
I don't get it because I have crazy dreams all the time, like nuts. Like, so I don't know if
but your weed to other drug ratio is off.
What? Your weed to
other drugs ratio is off. It needs to be like 95% weed.
I'm on 95% weed now.
Yeah, and you're still dreaming. You should get a refund. You got gypped.
No,
does ADHD affect it though?
Okay, here we go. Okay, so THC actually does not stop you from dreaming. What it does is that it may suppress your REM sleep. Okay, I know why. I can explain this very quickly for our viewers who are very curious. The reason for this is if you smoke weed within the 2 hours before you fall asleep, you will probably not dream. But if you wait an hour and a half, 2 hours before you fall asleep, the weed actually doesn't have an effect, and therefore you will have more REM sleep and more opportunity to dream. So my advice is to not smoke.
The best time to smoke weed.
Yeah, the best. Well, you
Two
say
best
that,
joints of the day: the first one and the last one.
but do you not find that? I find that after I've had a spliff, I can't fall asleep. If I've had a spliff for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, I can't fall asleep. My brain is active. My brain's that shit is going on in my brain.
Nah, man. The thing is, once it gets to like 1:30 in the morning, I am half falling asleep half the time, as it is. The joint just sends me that final push. Most of the time, I will go to bed, like thinking, oh, I'll smoke this joint in bed before I go to sleep. And just as I'm having that thought, I then wake up the next morning. And usually the joint ends up like in the shower because I've fallen asleep without lighting it, rolling over a few times. It's stuck to my back. And I didn't realize until shower. And the reason I say that specific example is that this is exactly what happened to me this morning. Getting back to the podcast as we move forward. Fight starting the card. We've got Ilia Topuria taking on
Paddy the Baddy.
That's the fight that
Jai Herbert, guys. Jai Herbert.
Jai Herbert. Thank you. This is a terrible fight for Jai Herbert. I don't care if Topuria is moving up in weight. This guy's scary. This guy's a beast. He knocks people out clean. He can wrestle. Jai Herbert has got some nice striking. He's certainly got some talent. I just don't think that this is the right guy for him. I don't think the weight class change is going to make a lick of difference. And I think Topuria's going to run through him, in my opinion. I think this is a knockout finish.
Topuria's German. I thought his whole thing was about Georgia.
No, he's Georgian. He's Georgian, but he's Spanish. Like he
oh my god, here we
moved
go.
to Spain when he was a kid, right?
Correct.
Or so was he born in? No, he was born in Georgia. I think. Yeah.
The UFC says country Germany.
That's wrong.
Probably fight.
It's so fucking wrong.
That it's not correct in any way, shape, or form. He takes a half Spanish, half Georgian flag out when he walks into the cage.
Yeah, sounds German to me.
Well, he's a scary guy. I think he wins this fight by knockout. Josh, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, yo también. I think Topuria is, if anything, going to have a little more power at 55. Jai Herbert, he's got quick hands, but he's not. It doesn't transfer to his footwork. I just think he's going to get caught, just taking pictures, just leaving his head out in the end of combinations. And Topuria's going to do what he did to Ryan Hall, just spark him the fuck out. Topuria by KO.
Sly.
Yeah. Topuria by KO.
On to the prelims. We'll run through these a bit more quickly. Mike Grundy taking on Makwan Amirkhani. I can't see past Grundy on this one. I'm saying Grundy by KO.
I don't know that Grundy is necessarily a better grappler than Amirkhani, but I think he's the stronger guy. Makwan's so much more dangerous in a variety of ways. I'm leaning towards Grundy on this one. I thought I might be alone in picking Grundy. I'm going to go Grundy by decision. I'm thinking the crowd hopefully is going to be enough of a factor to get him over 3 rounds.
I'm just looking at all my notes here on this fight, and I promise there is a lot of them.
Oh yeah, this is a fun fight, man. This is a really good fight.
I mean, what's fun is that they both like getting hit more than hitting, which is always a good start. Like, did anyone go for Grundy? Oh, Josh went for Grundy, no?
Yeah, we've both gone for Grundy. I thought I was going to be the only one, but yeah.
The stats. This is the stats. Only the stats tell me that
I imagine they will, yeah.
Mr. Finland should win this. But what do stats know? Mr. Finland by submission.
Fair enough.
That's Makwan Amirkhani again with I'm not sure his finish. Like I've met my finish.
Nice. Shit, man. He trained out of SBG for a long time.
His finish is like, the Moon Man.
I think he is like from somewhere in Scandinavia, but as an immigrant. I really can't remember now.
He's flying one flag, guys. He's flying one guy flag.
Have you seen his Tapology picture?
No.
Look up his Tapology picture right now.
I can't. I'm kind of in a delicate recording situation. I haven't got a lot of...
How everyone else has their Tapology picture is them with a belt, you know, them with their fucking kit on, them fighting, them having their hand raised, something like that. Makwan Amirkhani is him on a sofa or a bed with, I think, 3 beautiful women, and him with his shirt like unbuttoned, I think.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go for him to win.
That was the decider.
My Grundy's might just be a picture of a boiled egg.
I think he is a boiled egg.
Moving down the cards, Shamil Abdurakimov taking on Sergey Pavlovic. We're going to do these a bit quickly, guys, because I'm mindful of time. I'm going to say Pavlovic by decision. Josh?
Yeah? Pavlovic by KO, but I got a lot of love for Abdurakimov. Just Pavlovic is a beast.
Sly.
Yeah, I mean, all day Pavlovic by KO.
Well, united on that one. Light heavyweight, Nikita Krilov versus Paul Craig. I promised you guys there were going to be some emotional decisions. This is where I deliver on that. And only 2 emotional decisions I'll be making because Nathaniel Wood versus Vince Morales has tragically been cancelled. That's a shame. I was looking forward to that fight.
So now you're forced to make an emotional decision on that one.
Krilov should win this. There's no question about it. But I fucking love Paul Craig. He has wins over tougher guys to fight and beat than Krilov. And I'm gonna, based on that and the fact that, you know, he's a Scotsman, I'm gonna say Paul Craig by submission.
Krilov can. Oh, so yeah, go first. Sorry.
Krilov by KO. So I just thought I'd put that out there.
All right. I think Krilov shits the bed sometimes. You know, he did get submitted by Misha Serkinov. I'm going Paul Craig by sub.
You can be subbed by Serkinov. You can be subbed by Paul Craig. Next, the return of the undefeated Jack Shaw. Exciting guy, dominant guy, undefeated, 15-0, taking on a very dangerous guy in Team Valiev. This isn't going to be an easy fight for him, but I think Jack Shaw can get it done. I'm saying decision win.
I think Valiev is actually a big favourite on the betting line in this one.
Not a surprise. This was my other emotional pick.
Yeah, this is a really, really good fucking fight. Valiev, I think, as a grappler, is way, way more capable of fighting to a decision than Jack Shaw. But I've gone emotional as well. Jack Shaw by decision.
I've gone for Jack Shaw by submission.
All united there as well, apart from method. Next up, repping Wales. Again, same as Jack Shaw, we have got Corey Mckenna, formerly the Hobbit. She's now changed her rig fight name to Poppins, which I think is a slightly better comparison than you want to make to yourself. Just, I've got nothing against Hobbits. Hobbits did some amazing things, but I don't know if that's the description you want people to align to yourself on. Either way, talented fighter, beat Kay Hansen in a really close fight. Has also been away. She's had some injuries, but she's training at Team Alpha Male. She's coaching at Team Alpha Male. As far as I'm concerned, that year off is a year of just absorbing and soaking in experience and training and working on skills. And I think we're going to see a really dangerous Corey Mckenna. I'm going to say win by submission.
I'm also going to go for the lady with the bottomless bag of tricks. Going to go Mckenna by decision.
Sly is deep in thought.
He's thinking. He's thinking. This
McKenna
isn't an easy one to pick. This is a good card.
McKenna by decision.
Well, what makes it hard is if you don't know anything about Elise Reed, like myself, where I'm just picking the person I know, who happens to also be the English pick. But I do think
Elise Reed was undefeated until, was it against Sarge? Jara Eubanks, which I'm pretty sure was at 25,
you're right.
But with it being Sarge, might have been even 35. And I think the drop down in weight makes you think that she's going to be a much harder lady to try and grapple with. But I can't really remember the Sarge fight. I can't remember if she's kind of came in like as an underweight kind of fighter in the wrong weight class. But still, you know, I think it was a 3rd round finish, or was it a decision for Sarge? I think she put some time in there with a fucking freak of an athlete at flyweight, to be honest. To be honest, he's still quite a powerful, strong athlete at bantamweight. Sarge is an absolute beast. So in my head, I'm like, that kind of does make it a bit more interesting for McKenna. But we'll see.
Well, McKenna's also moving down in weight. She fought against Kay Hansen at flyweight, and she's at strawweight here. So they're both going down. They're both going down in weight.
I think McKenna does look more like a natural strawweight, though.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Also, the height as well. She's not very tall. I think she's only 5'3".
Yeah, I mean, Hobbit didn't come out of nowhere. It's not ironic.
Yeah,
it's
So I think just in terms of size and reach and all that, I think that's a better one for her. So we're all going Corey.
Yeah.
It takes us to the last fight. Last fight on the picks.
It's not the last fight, is it?
Last fight of the picks. First fight of the card, I was about to say. So the
last
one that we have to
pick. 2 more fights. There's 2 more fights.
2 fights left, Matt. You're about to skip over the best fight of the evening.
Who's drinking? Is it you or is it Josh? Because one of you guys sounds like he's got no idea. Matt, come on.
I'm on the thing. I'm saying those fights as cancelled. If you're talking about Nathaniel Wood versus Vince Morales, I'm saying that's showing up as cancelled.
No. That is now Nathaniel Wood versus Davy Grant.
Oh, you mentioned Davy Grant was on.
Yeah, sorry, when you were like, yeah, Davy Grant, I was like, he knows.
Cool. I blanked. I just,
I thought it's not really in the news. It's been, I've seen, all right, so Davy Grant, when Morales pulled out, put in a very beautiful, heartfelt thing. Like, I love both these fighters so much. I'm so gutted this one's falling apart. I am willing to step in on, like, I think at this time it's like 3 days notice. Because I know how hard like Nathaniel Wood must have trained for this. I don't want this fight to fall apart. It means something fighting. I'm paraphrasing at this point to try and put the gist of it in. But basically, he's like, I'm going to step in and save this one. My kind of guy. And then 2 days out, and I haven't seen anything confirmed anywhere in the media at this stage. But just Davy Grant posts on Instagram. Just going off to London with the wife, just packing the essentials, and it's the Venom fight kit and the gloves and everything, right? Now, I haven't seen it confirmed, but David Grant's not a swat. He's not just going to show up at like the fucking arena in his fucking fight kit and be like, well, no, why can't I fight? They've obviously given him the short notice replacement. It's happening. So it's Nathaniel Wood, David Grant. There's no way this isn't an emotional fight. I hate making a pick for this fight. I want to go last.
Well, should we do the picks for Mukayev against Cody Durden first?
Yeah, that's an easier one to pick. Mukayev,
Okay.
fuck Durden.
Mukayev.
Whoa, what's your problem
Decision.
with Durden?
Josh has more of a problem with him than I do.
It's like the dumbest fucking name ever. It's like the most American hick name for the first and surname, and it's interchangeable, and it's just stupid. I don't even know if you got it the right way around. Your name's upside down, inside out, and racist. And he was just that stupid, insensitive, like go back to your own country kind of mentality. And and Mukayev fighted. You know, I grew up in the UK. He's basically a hometown fighter. You know, pretty sure he grew up in London, I think, but definitely in the UK. I'm going Mukayev. Fuck done.
I'm also going Mukayev, but I have more sympathy for his stupid comment than you do, because
yeah. I think at some point he's disqualified from blame, from obviously being dumb as fuck, you know. But that is my only kind of like excuse for him. Like, I think he's too stupid to understand what's going on. But he is wrong in every way.
I think that his choice of words, in his mind, were meant with a very different intention from how it came out.
Yeah, we talked about that. You know, he's disqualified from blame for being stupid. I still hate him.
He's still going to lose, because Mukayev is a fucking scary dude.
Yes. And we're going for the home team.
I'm going knockout.
Yeah, knockout by the Punisher Mukayev.
Those are our picks. Couple of things, guys watching, hit the like and subscribe, and if you want to put some comments in, write your own picks down. If you do better than us, if you end up picking smarter than we did, we will give you a shout out on next week's episode. Sly and Josh, can you please remember to text your picks and methods into the new group chat that I've just set up, just so we've got it easy to record. I will do the same. And we still haven't decided what the punishment victory is going to be, but we have got 12 weeks to decide that, so we will reveal that once it's been done. Everybody, that's it from us. Enjoy the fights. Enjoy watching them at a normal time if you're in Europe. And as always, by Dave, by Laurie, by Trifo.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Laurie. Bye, Dave.